Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about Chapter 7, Improving Your Physical Fitness. Today's learning outcomes, we're going to describe the health benefits of being physically active. We're going to outline some key components of physical fitness. We're going to talk about safe and effective fitness programs using the principle of FITT, frequency, intensity, time, and type. We're going to create some strategies for optimal food and fluid consumption for exercise and for recovery after exercise, and we're going to explain how to treat exercise injuries. So what are the physical activity guidelines for Americans? This is taken from the health.gov website, www.health.gov. You can see that adults are encouraged to complete 150 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity every week. For additional benefits, 300 minutes is recommended. 75 minutes of vigorous activity can be substituted for the moderate intensity workouts. Vigorous intensity physical activity, of course, does contain slightly higher risks for injury. You'll get additional benefits by increasing that up to 150 minutes a week, vigorous activity. Or you can combine vigorous and moderate intensity workouts. A lot of people train in a 80-20, 80% moderate intensity with 20% high intensity workouts. It's also important every week to do some muscle strengthening activities. That can be just body weight activities, but adding activities to strengthen muscles is super important, as is with age. Doing some mobility exercises, stretching, yoga, things like that, to make sure you maintain your ability to move all your muscles in every direction. So what are some of the benefits of physical activity? It lowers cardiovascular disease risk, diabetes risk, cancer risk, lowers your blood pressure, decreases your risk of obesity, decreases depression, decreases the risk of osteoporosis later in life by increasing bone density, and overall dramatically decreases your risk of death. So it's very good. One of the biggest benefits, of course, of exercise is that it's massively beneficial to the function of your brain, which is a huge benefit to college students who are studying and need to engage the brain all the time. Some of those health benefits include on the brain include reducing stress and improving mood, decreases the risk of depression dramatically, and decreases suffering from anxiety, can improve concentration, and it does all of these things by increasing the supply of oxygen and nutrients to the brain, thereby improving your cognitive function, reducing fatigue, and improving sleep. It's all connected. Your body's all connected. The brain's connected. So increasing nutrient delivery, blood flow, oxygen delivery to your brain has tremendous effects. The immune system is also benefited by regular exercise, by reducing inflammation and improving immune system function. Lung respiratory capacity is obviously improved, as is cardiovascular fitness, your heart fitness. There is decreased risk of colon cancer. There's increased flexibility in your blood vessels, which lowers blood pressure, and you'll improve your lipid profile by raising good lipids, the HDL lipids. You raise those levels, which are the empty vesicles which are transporting cholesterol from fat cells back to your liver for processing. Those healthy lipids are in fact lowering your cholesterol and increasing your HDL levels. Decreases your risk of atherosclerosis or heart attacks, or narrowing of the blood vessels, which improves your circulation. There's a decrease in breast cancer risk for women. There is a weight loss or decrease in weight, mostly through, in fact, changes in body composition. Your body, when you exercise, will retain more muscle and lose more fat. Your weight might not change, but your body composition will change, and healthy body composition is what we're looking for here, not changes in size or appearance. That's something that you'll see pushed on social media all the time. There are many people with very unhealthy body compositions that you'll see splashed all over social media. Look at me before and after. The before pictures are generally very healthy body masses, and the after pictures are generally underweight people. So be very cautious when you see those kinds of social media pressures to look a particular way with extremely low body fat percentages. Those are not healthy at all. Yes, bone density increases, particularly with exercise that causes impacts, strengthening exercises like weight training or running. And your joint strength and range of motion is improved dramatically by exercise. In fact, in some countries, exercise is actually a prescription from your doctor to stave off diseases like arthritis. And of course, you'll gain muscle strength and muscular endurance through exercise. So, in terms of sports, what is the difference between sitting around and various kinds of exercises? Well, when you're sitting, you're burning around 30 to 40 kilocalories per hour of sitting or inactivity. Now, that goes up dramatically with just something like yoga, up to more than double, to 100 kilocalories an hour. Walking, even higher, up to 200 kilocalories an hour. Cycling, 400 kilocalories an hour. Easy jog, just a very easy jog, can get you into the 500 kilocalories per hour range. Swimming, again, 500 kilocalories per hour. And then fast running or playing in an active sport with sprints or accelerations will take you up very quickly to 700 or even 800 kilocalories per hour. There are different types of physical fitness that I want you to be aware of. There's aerobic fitness, which is perhaps what we all think of when we talk about fitness, and cardiovascular fitness. And we can increase that and improve that by endurance exercise, even walking. Very helpful for improving aerobic fitness. But then there's also strength training, getting into the weights room and pushing weights. They can be very light weights, but that will definitely increase your strength. Sometimes that's just body weight exercises. Both can improve your muscular strength. Then there's endurance. Endurance is related to both strength and aerobic fitness. Sometimes you need muscular endurance. That means strength over a long period of time. In a sport like tennis, you need strength to hit the ball hard late in a match. And sometimes you need aerobic endurance. In some sports, for example, Ironman triathlon, you need long-term aerobic endurance, which means training for very long periods of time so the muscles can keep working through long races. Last but by no means least, in fact, probably one of the most important things you should remember is functional fitness. And this is improved with things like yoga or stretching or some other kinds of often fairly gentle activities that improve the range of motion of your muscles. Functional fitness is crucial, particularly as people age. You'll notice people start to lose functional fitness. They forget how to bend over to tie up their shoelaces, for example, or they become non-functional and don't like to walk up a flight of stairs, for example. These are functions that you need to retain as long as you can in life. So don't give up on them if you or a loved one is starting to decrease certain of those functional activities, things like tying shoelaces or walking up flights of stairs. Do encourage them to regain functional fitness and perhaps encourage them to take up some sort of activity like yoga, where they will increase the range of motion of their muscles so you can use them for strength and aerobic fitness and endurance. How are you best to incorporate fitness in your life? The first idea, the first thought is to understand what your goal is. So you need to choose an activity that is appropriate for you. Some people are runners, some people are cyclists, some people are swimmers, some people like to play a sport like tennis or squash or badminton. Some people like to dance, some people like to do yoga. Find what it is that fires you up and will encourage you to get out there and do something. Choose a suitable activity for your current fitness level and definitely start slowly. I see too many people start too quickly, become sore, become discouraged, become injured, and stop. Don't do that. Just work your way slowly. Sometimes all it takes is 1 5-minute walk to get going. And make exercise part of your daily routine. Try to incorporate it in most days of the week. Yeah, how are you going to do that? One of the principles we use is the FITT principle, the FIT principle. You have to think about how many times a week you're going to engage in that activity. 5 or 6 times would be my recommendation. The intensity, how hard are you going to work out? Please start out gently and easily. Please consult with a doctor before you start any new exercise regimen to make sure you're healthy enough to participate in that particular form of exercise. Work out how much time you can spend without that time commitment becoming stressful. Exercise should be a time for releasing stress, and it shouldn't cause more stress. And then try to think of what type of exercise really fires you up. What are you going to enjoy? Do that. So here are some examples. Cardiorespiratory endurance, maybe 3 to 5 days a week, up to 60 minutes of something like running. Then there could be muscular fitness, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, where you're in the gym doing 60 to 80% of a 1 repetition max. Weight training, maybe 8 to 10 exercises, 2 to 4 sets, 8 to 12 repetitions. Start out with very, very low and easy weights and then build your way up. And then another example would be flexibility training, 2 to 3 days a week. That could be something like Tai Chi or yoga or something like that, where you're doing stretches for 10 to 30 seconds, repeating 2 to 4 times. Dance is a great way to do this as well. When you're training aerobic intensity, it's important to understand how hard you should be training if you're doing aerobic work. One of the easiest ways to understand how hard you should work out is the Borg scale, which is a relative perceived effort. That's how your brain perceives how hard you're working out. Turns out human beings are extremely accurate at understanding how hard we're working out. 80% of your workouts, or up to 90% of your workouts, should be pretty easy, what you'd call a 6 or less out of 10. And only 10 to 20% of your workouts should be very hard or hard. And that will be somewhere between a ranking of 7 to 10 on your perceived effort scale. Looking at muscular strength and endurance, here we go again, 2 to 3 days per week, intensity, about 60% of 1 repetition maximum, and we'll try to do those sets, maybe about 6 to 8 sets total. It's okay to start out with body weight for resistance. And then functional fitness, 2 to 3 days a week, minimum, stretches 10 to 30 seconds. It's one of the safest ways of participating in exercise. Some obstacles to physical fitness, things like lack of time, so make sure you have enough time. Social influences, are your friends and family participating? It's always better to exercise with a friend. And sometimes lack of motivation or accountability. Again, a friend is really helpful. Do give yourself a reward, an incentive to do some of this exercise. Ultimately, you should reward yourself because you're going to gain, you're going to benefit, you're going to be fitter, you're going to be stronger, you're going to be smarter. Be mindful about your choices. Try to find activities that fit your lifestyle, that fit your interests, that match your current fitness level. Start slow, progress slow. But do incorporate movement into your day every day and every week. And try to move outdoors.